Good afternoon. It's about noontime. It's the 3rd of April, 2019. Got a birthday coming up on the 11th. Not that you care, I'm just telling you. I'm sitting out in front of Home Depot. I'm about 12 minutes away from my next client's home, and 30 minutes ahead of schedule. So just killing a little bit of time before I go there. I wanted to update everybody that's on this channel, that's watching, and let you know that I've had a lot of jobs. Most of them I cannot get video of, or some of them might be duplicates, like installing a exhaust fan in the bathroom. I already have a video on that. A lot of the people lately that I've been going to work for have actually stood over my shoulder and watched me work. And so I started out in the morning with a video telling you that I was going to be, what I was going to be doing, and then it turned out that I couldn't record anything. So I just took some before and after pictures and posted them on our Facebook page. I'm hoping that this job here is going to be different, and I'm actually going to get you some video of what I'm going to do. There's some wood rot that has to be repaired, a post on a deck that needs to be replaced, and some wood rot that needs to be repaired. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get video of that and not have somebody standing over my shoulder watching every move. I don't record when they do that because I don't want them to feel funny in their own home. So I'm on my way to this job now. I'll get you as many shots as I possibly can, and I want to thank you for tuning in and being patient with me.
Turn left onto US 13 North Bristol Pike.
I'm going to try zooming in so you can see where this post is rotted out, because I didn't show you a close-up of it before. See right there in the bottom corner where it meets the deck? Use a small pry bar in between the rail and the post to separate it just enough to get your tool in there to cut it. You could use a multi-tool or a Sawzall, or in the case of this video, both. My father always used to tell me, let the tool do the work. Don't push it in there against the fasteners, don't force it to cut. Especially with a multi-tool, you actually get more cutting out of it if you let it just rest against what you're trying to cut and let it do the work. With only the top still fastened, you can see how loose these rails are becoming. Here you see me using a Sawzall to cut the fasteners, which are a little bit larger than the bottom. I'm using a metal blade with a very thin kerf, squeezing it in there, taking my time, going slow, and cutting the fasteners, making sure I don't damage the rail. With all the rails cut free, go ahead and remove the final lag holding your post in. You're probably wondering why I'm not using a socket and a ratchet on this. Honestly, the ratchet set's in the bottom of a toolbox. These channel locks were nearby. There's only 2 of them. They're working just fine. Now you need to use a little bit of TLC here. Don't just yank the post out. Remember, there's still cut nails sticking out of all the rails. So work the post out slowly, slide the rails off. You might have to use a little pressure one way or the other, but take your time. You don't want to break anything. Using your old piece as a pattern, lay it on top of the new piece, making sure that the notch is turned to the side, and trace the whole thing out. Using your circular saw, follow the lines, but do not overcut them. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to turn the 4x4 over. You'll follow the line on the other side, and also stop at the line and do not overcut it. You can finish it off with a handsaw, as you'll see me do here. I'm using the old piece as a pattern, sitting it on top of the new piece. Drill through the old holes into the new piece so they perfectly line up. This will leave a mark on your new piece, and then finish those holes off. What you see me doing here is I have the skill saw set to a 45-degree angle, and I'm cutting a tapered end on the part that overlaps the deck. Now here's where your patience gets really tried. Be gentle. Sit this thing in place. This is going to be very tight. So you're going to have to manipulate the rails and sneak it in there. If you have patience, you should be able to get it in there. Take you a few minutes probably. It's not going to fall right into place. One tip I do have for you, which I did not show on this video. After the post was removed, I hammered what was left of the cutoff fasteners in the end of the rails back into that 2x4. So this way they're not in the way and dragging against the post when you're trying to reinstall it. Now do not tighten your first lag completely. Leave it a little bit loose. This way you can adjust your post slightly and line up any additional fasteners that you have. Okay, so I'm tapping the rails into place with a very lightweight mallet so I don't damage the wood. I'm making sure that they're lined up vertically as well as horizontally, and then I'm going to fire a few finishing nails in there to hold them in place. So when you have the two rails that will not come together with the post very well because they've moved apart a little bit, you can take a standard ratcheting strap that you would use to hold a load down on your truck, wrap it around the post of the rail on the left and the new post, and you can crank it together just until they meet so you can get your fasteners in. Then you take it off and you do the same to the right side if necessary, and you get your fasteners in there. With the bottom already fastened, the top rails, they're not meeting the 4x4 post. There's a slight little gap in there, probably 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to slide this ratcheting strap up closer to the top, crank it just enough until the rail touches the 4x4, and then I'll put my fasteners in. And I'll do the same for the other side if necessary. So because there's a lot of tension on this, you're going to have to use screws. Screws are designed for pull-out strength. Nails are designed for shear strength. Go ahead and use a couple screws in here to fasten it in good shape. So you see I remove the strap now, and that rail is affixed to the new post perfectly. There's no separation at all. The rail on the right side is snug enough, so I can just get a couple screws put in there. If it wasn't, you could do the same thing with the ratchet strap, drawing them closer, and then putting your fasteners in. How do you like my teleporting abilities? For good measure, I'm going to put a few finishing nails in, and then fasten the cap on with 2 as well. I forgot to mention I did silicone around all areas where the rails touch the post and the post touches the cap. So here's a little view from down below here, and then I'll show you a view from the top so you can see how well everything fits together.